This is a video of beginning algebra, sections 5.2 through 5.6, the first assignment. The assignment is as of up here. The first section is just adding like terms as shown here. Adding like terms. Now notice on 49 and 50, we are subtracting the second line. So that second line, that minus in front of it, changed all the signs in the parentheses to what we have here. That's number 50. Then we go to 5.3, where we are multiplying a binomial times a trinomial. To do that, as we have on example 38, we take x, the x here, times everything in the second parentheses, as shown here. Then we take the 3 times everything in the second parentheses, as I've shown here. That's multiplication. Remember, when you're taking x times x, you add the exponents like that. So, like x times 5x, 5x squared. But when we come down to the last step, this step here, then we add like terms together. We do not change the variable, we just add the numbers together in front. Also, exactly the same, 39 and 40 and 41 and 42, doing exactly the same thing. Remember, on 42, 3 is times everything in the other one. B is times everything in the other one. And as the work is shown here. Then 5.4, this works when you have a binomial, two terms times two terms. It's called FOIL. F-O-I-L. F means first times first. O means outside times outside. I means inside times inside. And L means last times last. Like on our first one here. X plus 5 times x minus 1. X and x are the first ones. So x squared. X and negative 1 are the outside ones. Negative 1x. 5 and x are the inside. Then 5 and negative 1 are the last. Then we add together like terms in the middle. 4x. X squared plus 4x minus 5. Number 4, same way. First times first. Y squared. Outside, y times 4, 4y. Inside, negative 12 times y, negative 12y. Then the last, negative 48. Then we add like terms together in the middle. The rest of them on the through 20 is just like this. Number 6, 3y times 2y, first times first. 3y times negative 7, outside. Negative 5 times 2y, inside. Negative 5 times negative 7, last. And then you combine like terms. Now number 7 and 8 also use FOIL, but the first thing I would do is FOIL. Y minus 11 times 2x minus, no, excuse me, x minus 11 times 2x minus 9. Do FOIL on it first. Then we'll multiply by 2 after we get the FOIL done, as I've shown here. Number 9 and 10, you see FOIL again. First times first. On 10, 6x and x are first and first. Outside, 6x and negative 2. Inside, 2 and x. Last, 2 and negative 2. As shown here on this lesson. Here is the work for 9 through 16 with FOIL. Then 2 more using FOIL, or 4 more, 17 through 20. 18 and 20 give you the work you need to do. FOIL. 5.5 works with negative exponents. X to the negative third. To get rid of that negative exponent, you move it to the other part of the fraction, 1 over x cubed. 5 to the negative fourth. To get rid of the negative exponent, you make it 1 over 5 to the fourth. And 5 to the fourth is 625. Then a number written in this way, scientific notation. Number written in this way, standard notation. Then the negative exponents here on this page. 4 to the negative third for you to do. But 6 to the negative second, you make it 1 over 6 squared, 1 over 36. Number 4, negative 3 is in parentheses to the negative fifth. So the negative 3 moves down in parentheses to the positive fifth, gets rid of the negative exponent. Then negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 is 243. Negative 1 over 243. Now number 5 I did because I wanted to remind you this negative 3 is only for the x. So 7 over x cubed. 7 had an exponent of 1. Now number 6, because of the parentheses, the 7x is moved to the denominator. And then again, reviewing our rule, that's 7 cubed x cubed. That cubed is times both of them in there. So 1 over 343 x cubed. Then number 8 is a fraction with a negative exponent. When you have a fraction and the whole thing's with a negative exponent, you flip over the fraction to get rid of the negative exponent. So it's 8 over 1 squared, 64. Same way on number 10. Negative 1 over 8 with a negative exponent. So it becomes, and I made a mistake, it becomes negative 8 over 1 squared, which is 64. I forgot to flip it over when I got rid of the negative exponent. Okay, number 12, what do you do when you have separate terms? Well, that first one's 1 over 4 to get rid of the negative exponent. Then 1 over 5, you're adding those two together. And when you're adding fractions together, you got to have a common denominator. 5 over 40 plus 5 over 20 plus 4 over 20, 9 over 20. 14, to get rid of your negative exponent, it's in the denominator, you move it to the numerator. 16, both have negative exponents, so the s moves to the numerator, the r moves to the denominator. 18, both of them have y's, don't they? So the top one is y the first, so we take 1 minus the negative 3 on the bottom because you're dividing, so you subtract exponents. 20, as we have here, again we're dividing, so it's negative 4 subtracting negative 1. So x to the negative third, which is, then we get rid of the negative exponent, 1 over x cubed. Another one with numbers with the negative exponents, 4 to the negative second is 1 over 4 squared. 4 to the negative third is 1 over 4 cubed. And then 1 over 4 squared is 1 over 16. 1 over 64. Then you need a common denominator because these two had different denominators, as I've done here. 24. We have negative 1 over p to the negative fourth. Negative 1, no problem. But p to the negative fourth, we move it up to get rid of the negative exponent. Then, remember, zero powers. 5 to the 0 is 1. And negative 5 in parentheses to the 0 power is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 28, all of those are y's. The y's on top multiplying, the y on the bottom dividing. So when you're multiplying, you add exponents. When you're dividing, you subtract. 4 plus 5 minus 6, y cubed. 30, we have y cubed, y over y to the negative second. So 3 plus the 1 that's here minus the minus 2, because when you're down here you subtract whatever this is because you're dividing. So y to the sixth. Then 5.6, we're doing division. When you have written like this, the 18 is called the dividend. The 3 on top is the quotient. The number out front is the divisor. Same way when you start talking algebra. X plus 1 is the divisor. X squared plus 3x plus 2 is the dividend. The answer up here is the quotient. Number 3 on this vocabulary. A to the 6th over a to the 4th. Remember, subtract exponents. A squared. P to the 8th over p cubed. Subtract exponents. 8 minus 3. P to the 5th. 5. Y squared over y. Subtract exponents. Y to the 1st. 6. A cubed over a. Subtract exponent. A squared. Then on 1, 2, 3, and 4, there is one term on the bottom. X here on the first two, and then a number. 5 on 3 is in the denominator, and number 4, the 2 is in the denominator. When you have a fraction like that with one term in the bottom, you can divide that one term into each or all parts of the numerator. X into 15x squared, x into 9x to the 5th. So you get 15x minus 9x to the 4th. Down here, this 2 is into all 4 terms, as I've shown here. So we get this as our answer. Then, number 13 and 14 is what we call long division. There are 3 steps. Remember, 14 comes out this way. The x plus 5 goes here. The x squared plus 7x plus 10 goes underneath the dividend. The x plus 5 is the divisor. What we're trying to find is the quotient. First thing we do is start out with the number underneath, x squared, divided by this, the x. X squared over x is x. That's the first part of our answer. Then we take that x times the divisor. X squared plus 5x is what we get. And then that goes right underneath what it's like up here. And then we subtract. X squared minus x squared, 7x minus 5x, 2x. And we bring the 10 down. We start all over again. We take this 2x divided by this x is 2. And that goes up the second part of our answer. So our answer is going to be x plus 2. Then we take that 2 we found times the divisor, 2x plus 10. And then that goes down here and we subtract. And notice we get 0. Our answer is x plus 2. Please try to you keep doing 3 steps over and over again. Please try to follow that.